Hello, everybody. Welcome to your weekly Wednesday Facebook Live crafting show. I am Zara Premji, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Markham, Ontario, Canada. And for those of you joining me for the first time, this is my weekly Wednesday Facebook Live. I try and hop on at least once a week to do a live crafting show. And the purpose of that is to really just provide you with some crafting inspiration, a little bit of chatter, and hopefully give you a sense of how to use some of the products in our Stampin' Up! Catalogs. So today I am going to be showing you a project featuring Gnome for the holidays. It's a new stamp set in our holiday catalog, and we will get to the crafting very soon. So don't go anywhere, because I'm going to share with you how I get unstuck when I am in a crafting rut, which happens a lot because I've got 3 kids at home and I work full time, and we're now going back into the work environment. And so there's a lot of uncertainty and stress and nervousness about that and the kids going back to school. So sometimes I find that the creative juices are not necessarily flowing as easily. And so sometimes I get stuck in a crafting rut. And so I wanted to share with you where I find my inspiration. So like I said, we'll get to the crafting in just a few moments. I just wanted to say hello to some of you jumping on. Hi, Annette. Hi, Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining. It's nice for you guys to hop on live. Hi, Jenna. Good to see your names all popping up. Thank you. So for those of you that are popping in live, please comment below. I love reading your comments, your feedback, your questions, how you feel about the project or projects I'm making. So please continue the chatter in the comments. And if you are catching this later and are watching the replay, please also comment below. Because again, I love to hear from you and just kind of see what people are thinking of what I'm creating. And certainly if you have any questions or requests, things that you'd like to see, then please indicate those below and I will definitely try to indulge you. Hello, Dory. Yes, you finally made it. I'm happy. I know I've seen your comments a few times when you've missed me. So let me tell you a little bit about what's happening in our household, because it's kind of crazy town right now. We obviously, like with everybody else, we have been kind of on the longest March break ever. So the kids have been off since March 13th, and we are all getting ready to go back to school. So I know that some kids have already gone back. I know some schools have started. In York region, our kids go back Thursday and Friday. So they're splitting up into the cohorts. And so half will go on Thursday, and then the other half will go on Friday. And then I think they do half on Monday and then half on Tuesday. So cohort A will go Thursday and Monday, cohort B goes Friday and Tuesday, and then starting Wednesday for the elementary students, they all go back full time. My eldest is in high school, so he's also starting on Friday, but he'll be doing, as far as I know, I mean, the plans change obviously all the time, but he's going to be doing half day every other day. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how all of that plays out. I myself am going back into the schools. I work in the school board, so I'm going back into the schools starting tomorrow. And so that's going to be interesting. I think I'm trying not to get too anxious or nervous about it. I think that just kind of once I start working and getting a feel for what that's going to be like, then hopefully the anxiety will start to kind of alleviate a little bit. So I'm really looking forward to the kids being back in a routine, and I'm looking forward to being back in a routine myself. But while I'm here today, I'm going to craft with you guys. So let me think if there's anything that I want to share with you. I do have my, I closed my registration for my holiday stamp camp on Sunday, but I realized that, well, I had one cancellation and I realized I ordered an extra set of stuff because I just made a mistake with my list. So my stamp camp is happening on September 26th. It's a virtual event. I have 2 spots available. It's all virtual, so everything will be done via Zoom. You will get a package full of goodies. There's $50 worth of product, and then there will be pillow gifts and make and takes for 10 different projects. So I have 2 spots available. If you're interested, please comment below or send me a message, and I will see if I can squeeze you in. So it's not too late if you're one of the first 2 people that comments. So that's coming up, and then we've got an amazing promotion, which I'm going to flip the camera down soon and tell you about. If you're not already a demonstrator and you have a long wish list of product, then the Get and Go Starter Kit promotion is for you. There's an amazing deal happening for the month of September. And what else do I want to tell you before I flip the camera down? I think that's it. So please continue to comment and say hello, and I will flip the camera down and we will get to some crafting, okay? So just look away if you get motion sickness, and we'll do this. All right. Okay, so hopefully you can see that okay. And I am just going to get this pulled up on my computer. I should have probably done that earlier, but I'm going to get this pulled up on my computer so that I can see your, hang on, your comments as we continue crafting, okay? So 1 second. Let's see here. Okay, I think I see it. And all right, here we go. Okay, hi again, everybody. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Get and Go Starter Kit promotion. So this, I always feel like I have to add a disclaimer. When I say starter kit, it's not actually a predetermined kit of supplies, it's a deal, okay? So our starter kit is a deal where you basically choose $165 in product, any Stampin' Up! Product. So it could be anything in the catalog here or in our annual catalog up to $165. And you pay only $135, no tax, no shipping, okay? So you're already getting, am I getting that number right? Hang on, I should check it. This is terrible. I need sleep, I think. Okay, it's $135, no tax, no shipping. So for the month of September, you're actually going to get an additional, almost like, I would say $80 or $90 worth of free stuff. So you will get 2 stamp sets, Queen Anne's Lace and So Much Love. So if you want to look them up on the Stampin' Up! Online store, just so you can get a closer look. I do have So Much Love, but it's not close to me right now, and I don't have Queen Anne's Lace, but they're both beautiful stamp sets, and the value of both together is $50. You also get a package of our rhinestone jewels, and then you also get 16 card packets. So what you see here are individually packaged kits. So you get your card base, and then you get some additional cardstock. And this is just going to help you get started with your crafting. So you'll already get some inspiration for how you can use these stamp sets. And if you don't have any crafting supplies, then I could help you put together a bundle of product which would allow you to get all of the things that you need to start using these stamps. So if you're really new to stamping, you'll need some ink, you'll need a paper cutter, you'll need some adhesive and that sort of thing, but you can get all of that in your starter kit and then get these items for free, okay? So you get, like I said, 8 of each different card packet, and then you get the 2 stamp sets, and you get the rhinestone basic jewels. Plus you'll also get a paper pumpkin kit, which is our all-inclusive subscription kit. You'll get that for free, and you'll also get some business supplies, catalogs, etc. So if you want to start and run a business, you can absolutely do that, or you can just enjoy, you know, the hobby of crafting. So hi Jenny, hi Alim. Oh, it's nice to see you guys. Okay, so this is the stamp set we're going to be using today. It's called Gnome for the holidays, and there are 8 stamps in here. They are red rubber stamps. I've got some extra stamped images here, and you can see some of them are already missing because I've taken them out and put them on blocks already. So you just need 1 clear block to be able to use all the stamps. These stamps lend themselves really nicely to coloring, and I've got a few different things going on the card that I'm going to show you. So before I tell you a little bit about where I got the inspiration for this card, I'm just going to show you where it is in the holiday catalog. So on page 23, if you have our holiday catalog, which is actually supposed to be called August to December 2020 mini catalog, but that is just way too many syllables and words for me. So I'm just going to call it the holiday catalog, because let's face it, that's what's in here is holiday products. And not just Christmas, but fall, anything fall themed, Thanksgiving, there's some Valentine's, Halloween, and then there's some nice all occasion stamp sets in here as well. So like for example, this stamp set has a sentiment that says, "You're a friend like Gnome other," and that can be used year round, and you know, it's not just for Christmas. So I love that. I love when there are stamps in here that can be used year round, and I love the pun in there. So the other product that we're going to be using that I'll be showing you is the Trimming the Town Designer Series paper. So that's on page 25. It's actually a 12-inch by 12-inch pattern paper. So you get 6 different patterns, 2 of each, and they're double-sided. So I'm just going to show you some of the patterns. I'll show you all of the patterns actually in this paper. So on one side of the designer series paper, you have these sort of smaller patterns that lend themselves really nicely to, I mean, any season, and they're not too busy and not too large, so you can actually mix and match them together, which I'm doing on my card today. And then on the other side, so these are just the flip side of the ones I showed you, there are some larger patterns. So you can see that there's houses on this one, there's some beautiful wreaths, and then this one has kind of a whole landscape. So in a 12 by 12 sheet, you could actually frame that, and then you could add on maybe some stamped images or some die cut images to create a home decor piece. You could add on some lettering and that kind of thing, which actually I think is a great idea. I might have to try that. And then again, some larger houses, you've got the trees, and then you've got lots of people holding hands and being happy and connected, which just stands out to me right now given this pandemic and the whole physical distancing. So it's really, I don't know, that just warmed my heart to see that pattern. So we're going to be using this paper. So now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about inspiration, because as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, when life is like really busy, which I think it is for lots of people, it's sometimes hard to find crafting inspiration. Sometimes I'm just tired, sometimes I'm distracted and that kind of thing. So where I get 90% of my card inspiration is from other people's cards. And in the stamping community, we have a term called casing. So that's C-A-S-E, and it stands for copy and selectively edit, or copy and share everything. So I'm going to show you a card here. So this is a card that I received as part of a card swap. I'm going to take it out of the envelope in case there's a bit of a glare there. And I'm just realizing my camera is a little bit crooked, so I'm just going to try and straighten that out there, because that's bugging me a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to take it out of the envelope just so that the glare is not bothersome. So this is a card that I received as part of a card swap. So this is something that I participate in every time a new catalog comes out. I know a couple of demonstrators, and even within my team of demonstrators, we do what's called card swaps, where it's kind of like a cookie exchange. You design one or create one, and then you make multiple of it, and then you exchange it with people. So this is a card that I received as part of a card swap, and I received it from Lori Alexander, and she is in Burlington, Ontario. And so I usually spend the morning creating my projects for my Facebook Lives, and this morning I had a work meeting, so I didn't have as much time, and I was just feeling like the creative juices were not flowing. So I have taken Lori's card, and I have created a version that's similar in layout, but is different. I've used different paper, I've used some different colors, but again, the essential layout of it is the same. So I'm going to show you how to make the card, and then you can kind of see how I use this as my jumping off point, because this is something I do often, is where I'll look at a card and then I kind of use the layout or some of the elements of it and then create a similar card. So by the end of it, and I don't know if I want to show you my finished, like I have one sample of my finished card, but I don't want to show it to you yet because I just want to show you how this comes together, okay? So I'm going to start by actually stamping my little gnome here, because I'm going to be using our shimmery crystal effects, which needs a little bit of time to dry. So I'm going to start by stamping this cute little guy, and I'm just using a scrap of Whisper White here. Okay, and then once that's stamped, I'm going to color it in, and I'll go over it with my shimmery crystal effects, and then we will let it dry while I assemble the rest of the card, okay? So I'm just going to get out my stamping blends. Now, as you are watching, if you don't have some of these products and you want them, you may want to write them down. And anything that I'm showing here can be ordered from my online store, and I will include the link in the description, but you can see it right here. So bit.ly/online store Zara, and I do have a host code as well. So if you place, and I'm going to include that in information in the description. So any size order is going to get you a free tutorial bundle. I'm part of a tutorial bundle group, and I will be sending you a free tutorial bundle. It's a fall mega tutorial bundle with 20 different fall and Halloween themed projects. And then, oh, I'm using the wrong one. Hang on. And then if your order is $50 or more, you're also going to receive a roll of the embroidered ribbon. And then if your order is $100 or more, you're going to receive the embroidered ribbon and these beautiful glitter star embellishments, which I don't, of course, have right next to me. And then if your order is more than that, I'll put the details in the description. But anyway, so as you're making your list, if you would like to order anything from my online store, you can definitely do so. And of course, if you're a demonstrator, you'll want to order from yourself. And if you are not a demonstrator but would like a discount, then take advantage of the Get and Go Starter Kit promotion. I would love to have you on our team, okay? So I'm just coloring in. I'm using my Misty Moonlight blends. And I've started with the dark Misty Moonlight on the outline. And then I am kind of filling it in with the, sorry, I started with the dark and I'm filling in with the light, okay? So I'm just kind of going similar to what I'm seeing on Lori's card, but a different color scheme. And you'll see why once I show you the designer series paper patterns that I've chosen. All right, so let me fill, I'm gonna actually color in this bow right here. And I'm gonna color in, so I'm not an expert when it comes to using these alcohol-based markers, but I feel like they're so forgiving that I don't have to be an expert at it, and it'll still kind of look like, it'll still look nice. So I'm just, I just went darker on the outsides just to, again, create some dimension and some shading. And where, if this guy was in real life, I mean, first of all, he'd be super cute, but also where you might expect to see some of the shadows on his hat. So now I'm just going to, again, go in with my dark real red. And so under his beard, you'd expect to see a shadow, and maybe kind of here where he's holding the ornament. And then I'll color that in. Okay, so just kind of coloring in here, his little sleeve, and then just a little part of his sock here. So I'm kind of doing this in phases because I find that the blends are easier to work with when they are moist. So if I color and then I leave it to dry, it's a bit harder to blend. So that's why I am kind of going back in with different colors. So I'm just using right now the Misty Moonlight and the Real Red still, and then I'm going to go in with some other colors. All right. You want to poke your head in and say hi? Mm-hmm. You'd have to do that right here. See where the camera is, where my phone is? Can you look up? I don't know if people can see your face, but you can certainly put your hand in and wave. Say hi, everybody. See here, it's a little bit of a delay, so if you put your hand here, you'll see it in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to keep coloring while you keep your hand there for people to see. You can say hello. Can you see your hand? There you go. There's your hand. Okay, say hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Okay. Now you can move it because people might want to see what I'm making here. All right, so we are almost done coloring this little guy. And I'm going to go in with my shimmery crystal effects. And I'm just, ooh, hopefully, okay, that's not a pull top, it's a actual screw top. So I'm just kind of going over the ornaments. I want to create this sort of shiny, almost a glazed effect. And there's actually little flecks of glitter in here so that it's going to be, you know, give it a little bit of sparkle. So I'm going to try not to touch that because it does need some time to dry. And while that's drying, I'm just going to finish with the beard and really hope that I don't put my hand in it. And again, I'm just going over the lines in the beard just to use that as my guideline. I'm almost done with the coloring, and then you can see how all the rest of the card comes together. Oh, thank you, Sophie. I just saw your name there. Sophie, there's more cuteness to come. And I'm sure that you've probably used this stamp set, and I can't wait to see what you've created with it because you're the queen of mind-blowing projects. So, okay, I'm almost finished. Oh, I just realized I have a little bit more to do here. Okay, so I'm just going to go in with my old olive. So the other tip that I want to share with you when I am deciding on a project is I use my designer series paper as my jumping off point. Okay, so that's how I decide which colors I'm going to use. And so when I saw Lori's card, I decided I wanted to use the Trimming the Town designer series paper, and then I used the colors from that. Okay, so we're going to let this guy, let's let him dry a little bit while we assemble the rest of the card. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create some texture on my cardstock, and I'm going to do that using my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So this, I'm sure many of you, if you've been watching mine or any other Facebook Lives, you will have seen this tool. So this is our new machine that does dry embossing and die cutting, and I simply love it. It folds up. Let me show you how portable this can become. So you just fold it up like this, and then away you go. You can just carry it. So if you're, you know, going to the cottage or a retreat or anywhere at all, you can, or even if you just want to take it upstairs or downstairs, it's really easy to, it's very portable. And then it comes with all the plates that you need. So you get your main platform, and then you will get your thin die, what is this called? It's not a cutting surface. It's like your thin die adapter. And then you get 2 clear plates, although you'd never believe that these were once clear. I've been doing lots of cutting for Stamp Camp. And then it comes with a specialty plate. So you actually don't need to purchase anything additional to be able to start using this machine right away. So I am using the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. So I just want to create a subtle texture on my card layer. I don't want it to be too busy because you'll see that there's lots going on my card. So I just want to create a little bit of a subtle texture. I have also used my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to do some other die cutting. So I've used my stitched rectangles, and then I used my stitch shape circles, and then I've used my layering circles. So I've actually got 4 different pieces here that I've used my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for. So that to me is a staple in crafting. And so if you, again, are not already a demonstrator, you could actually add that to your starter kit, and you would be able to get it, instead of the $163 that we sell it for, you'd be able to get it for $135 plus some extra freebies. All right, so let's do some background stamping here. And I want to show you how I've done this. This is not my idea. I got it from Lori's card. I looked at her card and I thought, where did she get these cute little trees from? And what I realized is that it's this little lady gnome's hat. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually create a background. And I'm just kind of not having her face on here. I'm just kind of doing her hat, which looks like little Christmas trees. And then I'm doing that all around. And what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to stamp her whole body, because I'm going to cover that with designer series paper. So it's okay if it's showing a little, well, it's okay if her face and everything's showing here, because I'm going to cover that up with some designer series paper. Okay, so you want to make sure that you do that on grid paper, because you want to obviously not get it all over your surface. So that's going to go like that. And then here is my first piece of the Trimming the Town designer series paper, which I'm just going to again follow along with Lori's card here. I've done it a little bit less thick. So hers is 2 inches. I'm doing mine at 1.5. And I'll do that for you in a second. The other thing I'm going to do is stamp my sentiment. So I am using the Holly Jolly Everything, and I'm using my Real Red ink. So this, again, the colors that I'm using, actually before I do that, I'm going to punch it out. So this is the Scalloped Tag Topper Punch. This is going to be amazing for the holiday season when you want to create tags. All you do is you take a piece of cardstock that measures 2 inches wide, and you're just going to insert that. You can see this track here, this is 2 inches, and you're just going to insert that and punch it down, and you're going to get this beautiful tag topper shape, which already has a hole punched in it. So this is going to be amazing for tags, although for this card I'm not using it for a tag. I'm actually giving it a bit of a tag effect, but I'm going to be putting it right onto my card. So I use the Real Red ink, and this is where the colors from the designer series paper are guiding me, okay? So they're my jumping off point. The next thing I'm going to do is I've taken a small piece of this piece of designer series paper here. It's Old Olive, and there's just kind of a nice little diagonal stripe on it. So I'm just adding a little bit of color to the bottom of this, and this helps me to pull in the mistletoe, okay? So the greenery over here that I've colored in. And then I'm going to stick that like so. Okay, so let me get my card base and we can start assembling. Oh dear, okay. So just I'm using Whisper White thick cardstock. So whenever I'm using my white, whenever I'm using white as a card base, I will always go to my Whisper White thick. I find it's just a much sturdier cardstock than our regular Whisper White for card bases. And then I'm just using my Stampin' Seal. This is our new adhesive, which is fabulous. It takes a little bit of time to get used to it. But once you do, you'll fall in love with it. So that's that. And then I'm going to put down this piece here. You want to make sure that you orient this correctly so that you can cover this part here with your designer series paper. And I'm just centering that on the Real Red, the textured card base. And then let me do this here. So I'm going to just put down my designer series paper. Can you see how I've used this layout to create my card? Okay, so it's very similar. I've just changed up the colors. And I didn't actually, these are cut out with dies, this tag here, as well as this, it's not really a scalloped circle, I don't know what I would call that, but this circle here is also die cut using the same die set. I don't have that, so I'm just using whatever I do have. So again, it's, if you look at a card and you love the card and you would love to use that as your inspiration, you can do that without having all the same materials and supplies needed. You can just adapt. And I feel like that's what life is all about right now, is adapting, right? And adjusting and pivoting and all of those words we keep hearing. So it's important to be flexible in so many ways. Okay, so I'm just trying to do as much as I can of this project before I go to cut out the little gnome. So one other thing that I'm going to show you is, actually before I do that, I'm going to do the bow for my tag, and I am using the Seaside Spray metallic ribbon, which is just gorgeous. I hope you can see this. Once I cut it, I will show you. But it has these beautiful, like kind of, it's got like tinsel almost woven into it. So it has these beautiful flecks that sparkle. and it's called Metallic Ribbon, and it's Seaside Spray. So I'm going to use my glue dots to stick that on. There we go. All right, so the card is almost done. I don't normally I usually do the embellishing at the end, but because I'm trying to give that shimmery crystal effects some time to dry, I want to try and do as many steps as I can. So I am now using the Wonderful Gems. These are in our holiday catalog as well, and they're beautiful. I don't know if you can see that, but they're kind of faceted, and they come in red, and then the other color is clear with some little flecks of gold in them. So each one looks a little different, but I'm just going to pop 3 of the little ones on here just to add some sparkle, and then our little gnome will go on there last. So before I cut them out and stick them on, I'm going to just show you how you can not leave your envelopes naked, okay? So I'm just going to put some of my seal right here, and I'm just kind of going along the lines of the flap of the envelope. So, and I'm using a different pattern from the Trimming the Town Designer Series paper. I'm using the one with the snowflakes, but it still has a really coordinated look, as you can see. And now I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm going to use my paper snips to cut along the shape of the flap. Okay, so you just use the flap as your guide, and you'll see at the end how it creates this really nice coordinated look with your card. So the paper snips are fantastic for doing cutting jobs like this. The blades are nice and short, and they're super sharp, and so they're way better than just like the regular scissors you might have lying around your house. I don't let anybody use these for anything. They stay hidden, well hidden in my craft room, and I only use them for my crafting. Okay, so our card is almost done. I just need to cut this out. I think that the super sparkly, isn't it, Annette? Lots of sparkle. I feel like bling. Every card needs bling. It's maybe to my detriment. I don't love my cards if I don't throw some sparkly gems all over them. So, but yet I've seen so many that look just beautiful without them. But anyway, this one has lots of sparkle between the ribbon and the gems, and then of course the shimmery crystal effects. Is that what it's called? I don't know where I put it. So, okay, so let's talk a little bit about fussy cutting. How many of you love to fussy cut? You're going to have to let me know below. I'm interested to see how many of you out there actually like it, and then how many of you hate it. So I will admit that I never liked fussy cutting. I would probably call myself a lazy crafter. So I like to kind of work with everything right in my within arm's reach, so that I don't have to get up and go get things. And then I also really like fast and easy crafting. So fussy cutting does not align well with fast and easy crafting, in my opinion, but it just gives it such a nice effect. So I love the look of having die cut shapes and images, and unfortunately with the gnomes we don't have that. So I'm actually just going to leave this part for a while and maybe cut elsewhere. So I just really don't want to put my hand right in that shimmery crystal effects. I'm going to give it a few more seconds to dry. So talking about fussy cutting, some tips for fussy cutting I would say are, you want to make sure that you're not trying to cut right on the outline of the image. So you can see that I'm giving it a little bit of white space around where I'm cutting. So that allows it to be a little bit more forgiving. And it also just kind of, doesn't highlight some of the little, if you're uneven, or if you've, kind of moved a little bit away from the outline, it's not going to be as obvious if you have this outline. And I also think it gives it that die cut look. So now I'm going to go back in here, and I'm just going to, and I'm actually just keeping my scissor blades pretty still, just kind of closing gradually, but most of the movement is happening in my left hand, and I am moving the cardstock. All right, so Annette, you love to fussy cut. You prefer a die, but you will do it. Okay. And Dory, you will do it sometimes because of the look. Yes. Annette, I'm glad you agree with me. We all need some sparkle in our lives. All right, so I'm just getting to this part here, and I'm not going to go all the way in because that would just be way too detailed for me. And like I said, I admitted it here on camera that I am a lazy crafter. So I am just going to, again, go kind of around the outline. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's handmade, so it does not need to be perfect. Okay, we are almost done here. And then this is the last step, and then I've just got to pop that on, and then I'll be done. So I'm just going to go back in here. There we go. All right, so I've got lots of little bits of cut off cardstock here, and I'm trying, this guy's curled up a little bit. So the last step is putting this on, and I'm going to actually put, I'm not going to put this face down on my surface because the crystal effects might not yet be dry, and I don't want to smudge it. So just putting the dimensionals on like that, and I'm just going to stick him on like that. And that, my friends, is the finished card. So once again, I'm going to pull in Lori's card, and the purpose, or kind of what I was hoping to get across today with my live crafting show, was really just about where you can get inspiration. So if you're feeling like you want to craft but you find that the creative juices are not flowing, just find another card. There's tons of inspiration in our catalog, so you can actually just go through and look for a card in the catalog that you love, and then you can just emulate that same layout. So you can just take a layout right out of here, and even if you don't have the products to make that card, you can just copy the layout and use what you do have. So you don't need brand new product. You don't need a ton of product. You just need to pull out your stamps, ink, and paper, and then pick a design and just go with it, okay? So in particular, I would say on page 44, where we've got the Gilded Autumn Suite, there's a lot of cards that I find that the layouts are quite simple, so you can just cut 3 strips of paper or use anything that you have and just create a sentiment and stick it on, and you've got a really beautiful, simple card there. So these are my 2 cards. What do you guys think? Annette, thank you for your comment. You love it in the blues. What do others think? Do you guys like the card? Do you see how similar they are, but yet there's some subtle differences? So I highly encourage you, if you're feeling like you just need to get unstuck with your crafting, go pick out a card that you've got in your stash, or open the catalog and just pick any card and then start crafting. So I'm just going to quickly flip the camera to face me again so I can say goodbye and send us all on our days. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Hi, everyone. Thanks again for joining me. You love it, Dory. Thank you so much for being here and for watching. I see a few others have jumped on. Hi, Selvi. Thanks for joining. Hello, Lori. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I really would love for you guys to go pull out your stuff and go make something. You need the tag punch. Okay, Dory, there's I think we have 2 different tag punches. So you've got some options. There's the I don't have the delightful tag topper punch with me because someone's borrowing it right now, but I've got the scalloped tag topper punch, and then we've got another one that has a slightly more ornate top. So go look at that, and they're both in the annual catalog, and if you need help figuring out where it is, let me know and I will point you in the right direction. But yeah, it's definitely handy, and it's going to be fabulous for all of the tag making you might want to do for the upcoming holidays. So I want to thank you again for joining me. Again, I will put the information up in the description in terms of the ordering special and some other information about promotions and how to contact me or reach me. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or requests, please do indicate in the comments below, and I will see you all back here next Wednesday. Have a great day and week, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.